And we welcome you back again. Thanks for being with us for another round of the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. We're live here at Elizabethton High School with the man himself, head coach Shawn Witten, who's now 94 and 38, 80 and 29 in regular season play, coming off the big win, obviously. Friday night, coach, 52-27, a record-setting night for our football team, and a couple of young men who really stepped up. And it was a heck of an evening on senior night.
Well, it was a great night for senior night, Tom, and we got some great seniors. Guys that have been in our program for a long time. And one of the things that we talked about too is you got some guys come in the program. They're not just difference makers, but they change your program. They do a lot of things on and off the field. Their leadership in the classroom and the community, and the work that they put in over the course of 4 years has been spectacular. And picking up a guy like Adam Cornett, we've talked about many times coming out of senior year, has really given us some great minutes. Kush Patel, who played his freshman year, come back out of senior year, given us some great work in practice time as well. So, and then you have some seniors too. We mentioned, no better one than Ryan Wetzel, a guy that's waited his turn to be a senior. And so we had some special. It was a special night for our seniors, and we came ready to play. And the biggest thing is we wanted to give our kids a great opportunity to head ourselves in the right way for the postseason, and to capitalize off a good Sullivan South team and come out ready to play.
Two school records established on Friday night. Carter Everett, 431 yards passing. That's a school record. There's been a lot of great quarterbacks at Elizabethton, so none better than Friday night with Carter. And then Ryan Wetzel, 16 catches as an individual. That, too, is a school record. Also over 500 yards of offense. That's got to be pretty one of those high water marks, too, for this team, wouldn't
Well,
it?
I joked with Carter, if he's breaking some quarterback records, that's putting him up there against breaking somebody's particular some records. So, but
They
it just
wouldn't.
yeah, just joke with him on that. But it's Sullivan South, traditionally against us has always brought a lot of pressure. I was very pleased at our offensive line. You're talking about some guys that really had the work cut out for them, picking up a lot of blitzes. We knew they were going to give some man to man, and a lot of times they play with no safety in the middle of the field. So we wanted to try to capitalize off that. A couple times early we tried to run it, and just didn't get anything with Corey there. So and we tried to take some shots down the field against Greenville, and so we wanted to really bounce back, and we put the ball in Corey's hands against Greenville. He ran it 21 times, and then we felt like they were going to try to take him away, and we wanted to try to spread the football around. But 9 different receivers caught the ball Friday night. Just got off to a great start, and they gave us some mismatches we really liked. And Coach B, our quarterback coach, always talks about it. Football is about mismatches. Creating those mismatches. Moving guys around, and we did a great job of throwing and catching the football.
It is the final week of the regular season. We'll talk about the playoffs a little bit later in the show. We got some highlights coming up. I want to say hello to Catherine Cusack and Trudy Coball and Jennifer Hambrick and Christy Riddle and Miss Angie, of course, from the athletic director, athletic office, I should say, secretary. These ladies, I met them Friday night, the Elizabethton High School APO girls. They're a lot of fun. They were laughing and giggling there in the, I guess called the souvenir stand or I guess spirit items stand, whatever. But they're a lot of fun. They were giggling, laughing, having a big time.
Well, there's some great people here at Lisbon High School. Catherine Cusack, her boy played for us, has a great seasons for our football program, and he was a center for us. He's a great kid, and went on to University of Tennessee, and we've had some other ones, but it's just a great place. We've got good people trying to take care of our sports programs, and it's awesome to that we have those kind of people that are surrounding our programs.
Absolutely. We got some highlights. Let's jump in here and go again. Carter Everett for the night, by the way, 32 out of 49, 431 yards, 5 touchdowns. As Coach said, 9 different guys caught balls Friday night. And so with that, again, Carter's total numbers now going into Friday night's game against Central. 2,088 yards unofficially, 26 touchdowns passing, 29 total touchdowns for Carter Everett. Ryan Wetzel, 718 yards receiving so far with 16 touchdowns. Evan Perkins, 648 yards. And also Corey Russell with 14 touchdowns this season. Corey with 881 yards, so he's obviously flirting with 1,000. So a lot of individuals doing well, but it all comes under that concept of team football.
Well, it is, spreading the football around, and we've got some great receivers. We've got a couple of senior receivers in Keelan Hall and Ryan Wetzel. We got Evan Perkins was a great slot receiver for us, and he's come on strong and been a very complimentary receiver. And you go in different games, and you just want to you try to do. We work on our passing game all year long. We've thrown it a lot more than we've run it this year. A lot of that has to do with our offensive line. and then just the ability for us to be consistent throwing the football, and that's the biggest thing that, from a coach's standpoint, is be able to complete at least 75% of your passes. Carter's only got three turnovers at the quarterback position all year long. So when you're throwing the football that much, the biggest downfall is you can be stopping the clock if you have a lot of incomplete passes. But for us to be able to catch that ball, make a lot of plays with it, it's really great to see.
Let's go into check out the highlights again. The Shawn Witten Coaches Show again Friday night. Cougars come to town. We'll take care of that coming up in just a few moments. But again, let's go down to the highlight package, and here we go. Thanks to Huddle and Coach. We want to set this one up right here, and let's get this big screen popped up. And we're kind of going on the fly here, but let's set this one up. I believe this is going to go to Keelan Hall.
Well, this is our third play of the game. On the second play of the game, we threw a quick screen to Ryan Wetzel, and so the third play, we set up a little quick screen and go, hit down in the short side of the field, and it's a great throw, great catch, and good by Keelan to cut back and extend that play.
Call him the Gazelle on the sideline. That guy's got.
He's really come on strong for us late in the year, and he's a big weapon to have on the other side of Ryan. And we started the game putting those two guys on the same side of the field to see if we can get that combination. And Keelan's also a good blocker. He does a really good job of blocking downfield, and that's the biggest weapon we like to have there. And that's a play that we work a lot because we throw those screens to Ryan real fast because he can get some good yards, and Keelan blocks for him. Then we do a little slip screen. So it's good to see Keelan have a big game on senior night.
Yeah, we call him the Gazelle, the big old stride he's got. Here's another highlight, 19-yard pass, obviously, as you see, to Evan Perkins.
Well, this is another good play. This is just a bubble screen out to Evan from the number 2 receiver spot. And then, like you talked about, Keelan Hall down there blocking, shows some good speed and fresh legs by Evan Perkins.
All right. Here we go, some more highlights. Here's the 14-yard touchdown pass, the first of 2 to Ryan Wetzel.
This is a slant route on the outside. Ryan's the number 1 receiver. We got 3 receivers lined up to the left, and just runs a slant across the middle. And you could see the pass protection here. You got 4 guys walking up the blitz here. Just great by our offensive line picking up these blitzers.
Got trips to the left, the wide side of the field, and right over the middle, wide open. That's been open for you all most of the season, just about every team, hasn't it?
Well, especially down in the red zone, they anticipate Ryan throwing that fade, and getting that corner of the end zone, so they kind of back off of him and shade him to the outside a little bit, which opens up the middle, which makes it a little bit more of an easier throw.
Here's a 60-yard touchdown pass to Evan Perkins on the Shawn Witten Coaches Show.
Well, this is just an inside hitch stop route to Evan, and this is what you preach and practice all year long. Just catch it, tight turn, break a tackle, and then off the races you go. But you can really see, the thing I like about this is, here we are at week 9. We just come off a game against Greenville. You probably tired, fatigued, but you can see the fresh legs in our guys, how they come to work the next week. And I really think the fall break really helped us to, get some downtime, get back in the weight room, get some extra conditioning. And, really love the speed by Evan Perkins to take that to the distance.
Here's a 24-yard touchdown pass, as you see, again, to Evan Perkins.
This is number 2. We just threw the bubble screen to Evan at the number 2 receiver. Now this is him going vertical, and he just ends up beating the guy one-on-one. As you can see here, they put the safety back in the middle field. But look at the pass protection here, Tom. Just the ability to make those throws is just unbelievable. I've taken those offensive linemen over Dairy Queen and bought them the first blizzard, so it's pretty cool. About 6 blizzards. But look at the pass protection. Just another fade by Ryan, going up and get it, jump ball here, and comes down with it. Continue that streak of the fades.
Well, Carter Everett had a record-setting night, but let's face it, the Hogs up front got that for him, gave him enough pass protection, let him make 32 passes completed out of 49.
Well, we work on our pass protection all the time, and Carter's a big guy back there, so really does a good job. Corey's a great catching the ball out of the backfield as well, so when they try to take one guy away, you got to be able to have multiple game plans. And I think the ability to throw the ball like we can and run the football like we can with a guy like Corey makes you so diverse. Where do you go to stop us in the playoffs? What do you try to take away? And that's what we've got to be able to do, is if they're taking one guy away or want something away, we got to be able to go to that. And then, our offensive line be able to pick up those pass protections. People are going to try to send pressure to get that ball out of Carter's hands or make him have to hold on to it. That's great confidence for our offensive linemen as well.
Catch a couple more highlights here in the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. Then we'll talk about the region, who we could be playing in the playoffs. Also preview the Central game on Friday night here on the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. Be sure and like it and share it. Hello to Jennifer Johnson, watches every week and shares it on. We appreciate that. And also Chris Hensley and my buddy Tony Briggs. Appreciate you guys watching this every week. And we've gotten feedback. They love watching the show. And we appreciate that. So, Coach, again, let's pick this one up. Here's the touchdown pass to, obviously, Keelan Hall.
Well, this is a fade route to the other side to Keelan. This makes us so diverse when you can be able to throw this either way. And just a great concentration here, back shoulder fade to go make this play. It's just a great throw, great catch, great pass protection. Throwing it where I can only make the play is the biggest thing, not turning the football over down the field. And it's just really good to see. Big rewarding seniors on senior night, Tom, is big. You know, the work that they've put in and the leadership. There's a lot of great guys that a lot of our young kids can look up to.
Here's a touchdown run by Austin Outland here on the Shawn Witten Coaches Show.
Well, this is a speed sweep. You know, we got this set up and just great speed by Austin Outland. Get to the outside, man to man. His guys got to run with him all the way across the field. Good blocks by our guys. And it's good fighting for the end zone for Austin Outland.
Kid's a scrapper, isn't he?
Well, he is. We've talked about him many times, how he can be a difference maker for us, you know, and so he's really got the speed to be a difference maker, and hopefully he's going to come on strong for us here at the finish line.
And the final highlight is Joseph Ketcher, a little fumble recovery. And watch how he fights off these tackles, gets in there, gets it, knocks, strips his ball and gets it. One of the hogs. He loved this.
Yeah, this is really good by him, and just, you know, this guy's been starting at center for the last couple of weeks and gets a good fumble recovery, and you know, it's really good to see the young guys getting there and still continue to make plays for us.
Absolutely. Of course, that's the highlight package that we have for you here again on the Shawn Witten Coaches Show. So, again, we're getting back ready to go for a big night of high school football coming up Friday night. And so, Coach, let's talk about coming to town. The Sullivan Central Cougars, we head there for the final game of the regular season. Team that's having a tough season, let's face it, and so it's going to be an interesting Friday night in Bluffville.
Well, it is. You know, we've not been to Sullivan Central since 2008. You know, they got a great place to play, and you know, we're looking forward to any opportunity to get back on the field. But as you close the final season to the chapter, you know, you close one out on Friday night. You know, a new one begins on Saturday morning. So, you know, we got a lot of work still ahead of us, and you know, everything you work on into a course of a season all comes down to that 1 week in the playoffs. So we've been fortunate enough, you know, when you play two big games back to back, we've been fortunate enough to be at home. We've had a fall break, a chance to, you know, get our legs back, still be fresh, still be ready to go, and make a final run at it.
You're a prohibitive favorite on paper, obviously, going into, again, Central as an 0-9 football team. You got the, as you said, playoffs 2 weeks out. And so, to me, as a coach, you're into a tough situation. You know going in that you're a better football team, obviously, because the ratings are out this week and we're fifth in the state. And yet you want to keep your team fresh, but you don't want to, I would say, embarrass Sullivan Central if it gets to that point. So you kind of in a tough spot, are you not?
Well, it becomes difficult, you know, and I think the maturity of our guys and the senior leadership's got to really step forward. But I think the attention of the playoffs right around the corner, you know, keeps your focus. You know, there's some extra film preparation. I think that a lot of times so many coaches get so caught up in the practice time where, you know, you can still get a lot of things done. We're fortunate enough we got back in the weight room and, you know, we get some extra film time. And then when you do go to practice field, you know, instead of working on your normal things, you know, you got to practice those special situations, things that the playoff games come down to. One play, one situation, you know, games of matter of inches, you know, some things that we're going to be tested maybe down the road, you know, with some different teams. And you know, and anytime you play some uncommon opponents, you know, we're going to get some uncommon opponents round one, round two that we've never seen before. Anytime you can possibly play some Chattanooga area teams, they're going to have some good football teams and good football players. So, you know, the biggest thing for us is we can't look forward too far. You still got to focus on, you know, continue another week for us to get better and another week for us to really show what we can do.
Friday night will be the 40th meeting between the two. Elizabethton dominant in the series. They lead the series 33-6. All-time record at Elizabethton High School with 376 wins, 203 defeats, 2 ties. Coach Witten again as the head man here at Elizabethton, 94-38, 80-29 of the regular season. And so, as we said, the polls are out this week, and we're 5th in the state. Let's look at Region 1 real quick. It's Greenville's 5-0, Elizabethton 4-1, South 4-2, Granger and Sullivan East, I guess, still duking it out for that 4th spot for next week. both 2-3. Union County 1-4, and Sullivan Central, as we said, 0-5 in the league. Greenville plays Sullivan East. Sullivan South has a non-conference game in the Civil War, as they call it, at Sullivan North. So their regular season conference is done. Granger plays Union County, and of course, Elizabethton goes to Sullivan Central. In Region 2, which is what we're going to see next week, you have the top dog right now is Anderson County, the Mustangs at 5-0, Chattanooga Central at 5-1, Sequoia at 3-2. This is a football team we may see. They've scored 219 but given up 217. East Ridge and East Hamilton both 2-3. So those are the four, I guess, five teams squeezed into four, coach. And so right now, I guess it would be playing Sequoia, right?
Well, it just, there's some games that you never know
Never
happening
know.
in, some tiebreakers. That's the biggest thing is kind of how they count the tiebreakers and who beats who. But, the biggest thing is, anytime, East Ridge is a team that was in the quarterfinals a year ago when we were playing Alcoa. They had Sequatchie. So you have some teams that, there's some East Hamiltons in inner city, Chattanooga School. They've played up in 5A and for a long time. There's a team that played Dobbins Bennett not long ago. So Chattanooga Central is a really good football team. Anderson County, it's obviously anytime anybody can go undefeated in a season playing at a high level. Anderson County throws the ball all over the field and having a great season. Don't really know much about a Sequoia football team. I think they're kind of one of the county schools down that way, but you got some great athletes in those Chattanooga areas. Some great football teams, great football areas. The biggest thing for us is though, it's closing out Friday night because that round one means we're at Citizens Bank Stadium. You're talking about East Ridge or Sequoia coming to Elizabethton High School. That's a 3.5-hour drive. That's a long way to go. So definitely, home field advantage is going to be key to that round one game.
Absolutely. Let's look at the brackets real quick. Again, we'll be hosting again next Friday night against, looks like Sequoia, but we don't know that for sure. We're going to be playing somebody here in Elizabethton. But then, if I read the brackets right, if you went out, then you play the second round at home too, right? Because we're here, and then this team we travel this and this one. But if I'm reading this right, here we are, and we win, we're going to be at home next Friday night. Is that right?
I don't know how it goes. Honestly, I thought it was kind of went to the higher seed, but it could be wrong. But that would be great if that were the case.
Because out here in the quarterfinals,
Yeah, obviously they
you travel. You definitely travel this one. You definitely travel, of course, to the semifinals. But if I'm reading it right, and I'm not saying I am, but it looks like on this bracket here that if we win, we're back home again next Friday night. Of course, that's I'm not real good at ciphering at times, but there you go. So, bottom line is we're playing here next Friday night, and that's we don't know who yet, but we know we are. And so, Sullivan Central, they're a wounded bear, obviously, or a wounded cougar in this case, and so it's their senior night, and they want to, of course, send the seniors off. They've had a tough 4 years, and they'd love nothing better than knock off the Cyclones.
well they would, and it's just it can happen to anybody, and you still the biggest thing is you want to play good football, and most importantly we got to stay healthy, and we want to have a great week this week in preparation and still remain focused and continue to find guys that continue to step up for us. And this time of year you got to be playing your best football regardless of who you're playing, where you're going. The weather's changing this week and had a lot of rain Monday, and so anytime you go on the road it's a preparation. Just to mentally just stay focused regardless of where you're going and who you're playing against. And we talk about that union football game. When you make that bus ride, eventually you may have to do that down the road. So hopefully that's going to play into our advantage and be able to get off the bus and go play a game. And when you travel that far and you travel some uncommon territories, those are some tough places to play.
On a side note, good luck on Saturday to Perry Elliott and the Betsy Band's going to be in the competition. Science Hill, it's a big competition, and they typically do very, very well there. So good luck to the Betsy Band on Saturday. Now, will they travel Friday night? Will they be with us?
Yeah, I'm
Friday?
sure they will.
Yeah.
Perry and them always do a good job, and they got their state championships coming up too. And wish them the best of luck. They practice about as hard as anybody, and Perry's is as good as a coach as there is in regardless of sport. And those guys really work their tails off, and you got proud tradition. And I think anything in Elizabeth High School is a team effort. Everybody supports everybody, and it's really good to see everybody do well.
We'll talk to you here next week. Next week, we'll be reviewing, obviously, the Central game, which we hope will be a victory, and then get ready for round one of the TSSAA playoffs. And it's the old worn out adage, the second season. But again, what you've been telling the kids, it's exit, what is it, exit in Cookeville?
Exit 287 is what we've been talking about, and we got the road's going to go through exit 23 to Greenville, and we talk about you got 5 rounds, and it's basically right now we talked about it last week. It's a 7-game season. It becomes now it's a 6-game season in preparation. We talked about yesterday when our workouts. I mean, we've got to be really ready to dial in and focus, and everything you work forward, everything the leadership has really got to come out, and there's nothing you can hold back. All the plays that we work on, all the situations we work on has got to be down to the fine point of the details, and that's really the biggest thing. You talk about, I heard one of our coaches sent me something this morning about Nick Saban, preparing for Tennessee and how they're 36 point, supposed to beat them by 36 points, and how do you stay focused and different things like that. But I think it's the attention to details and knowing that we got to be committed to each other, and when you're committed to each other, you're going to prepare, you're going to focus, you're going to practice hard, and to make sure you don't let that next guy down. And then there's a lot left to play for, and hopefully our guys can go chase that go ball, and there's going to be some tough games and tough battles, and hopefully our guys will be ready to put their best foot forward and to make a strong finish.
The goal, I should say, is exit 287, Cookeville, coming up the first Saturday in December. That's the goal, to come home with the gold ball. That's the name of the game. That's why we play the game, right?
Yes, sir. No doubt about it.
You got it. Love you, man. We'll talk to you next week. Again, Shawn Witten Coaching Show. Like it and share it. Again, thanks to the folks that are saying they're watching the show. We appreciate that very much. So it's all about promoting these student athletes and a positive spin here at Elizabethton High School. So we'll see you next week. Again, like this and share it, please, and you do, and we thank you for that. And so until then, for Coach Witten, this is Tom Taylor telling you as always, win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody, and go Cyclones.